Welcome everyone. We're excited to have you join us today for the latest webinar of the NightWatch Master Integrator series, a webinar series designed to level up your security knowledge and integration skills. My name is Unity. I'm the marketing specialist here at NightWatch and your NightWatch host for the day. So you may be wondering, why are we doing this? In today's fast evolving world, staying ahead in security requires expert insights, practical strategies, and real world solutions. This series is designed to bring you helpful information, best practices, innovations, and actionable tips to enhance your organization's security systems. To kick things off, we'll begin with a real world perspective in a solution story, if you will. So I'm pleased to welcome City of Taylor and their NightWatch Senior Account Executive, Catherine Faircloth. First, we can just start by the City of Taylor, and we'll just start with the City of Taylor introducing themselves. So your name, your title, role, and then the type of facility or environment you're responsible for.
How you doing? Lieutenant Jeff Adamich, City of Taylor. I've worked for the City of Taylor for about 24 years as a police lieutenant. We are a city of 24 square miles, and the city owns approximately 17 or 18 different buildings that we have deployed Verkada throughout. And we have a population of about 68,000, and their daytime population with our two major freeways are about 250,000 people coming through. So we're extremely busy city. Just a little segment of Taylor. I'll slide out.
I'm Catherine Faircloth. I've been working with Jeff and his team since 2021, now 2022. So we've had a lot of fun together. Our initial project was implementing Verkada cameras across 19 of their sites. And then from there, we've worked on integrating a new fire system with the Verkada platform. Not the same brand, but that's kind of what we do. We integrate, we figure out how things work and meet our clients' needs. We've reviewed alarms, intrusion, all sorts of aspects to kind of get their city safe and having everyone feel comfortable.
As the project progressed, what were some security gaps that became obvious that you didn't realize existed? Or was there a specific moment where you realized Verkada made a difference in identifying a risk or a blind spot?
So going into the project, when I first reached out, we had exposure to Verkada cameras through the school district. And, we were blown away with the quality of the Verkada cameras, and we knew what we had from our current system at that time. And the system itself was it was terrible as far as user management, being able to retrieve video. So after dealing with the school district's Verkada camera, that's what we decided to go with. It was government purchasing is always a headache. So we were able to secure sole source funding, our justification, and come up with the funding. We knew we had a bunch of security lapses from previous incidents, and we wanted to go all in. So I think Catherine spent about 3 or 4 days with us walking every building in the blistering heat. And we figured out, what we wanted to do, what I wanted to cover. And she worked with us and reworked with us. And it was an ongoing project for sure. We eventually got a good plan. And, once that was up and running, it was immediate wins. Documenting just slip and fall accidents where before we just take their word for it. We had no video evidence and we just do payouts. We use these cameras from everything from, like I said, slip and falls. We've had a ton of success with these cameras, from the people dropping dogs off at our animal shelter and leaving them in the cold overnight. And we're able to get the video footage and actually go after prosecution on these people. Use the video camera to help prosecution of a homicide defendant. We were able to, capture this important data that the video footage that we never had before. The ease of capturing the footage in our jail facilities and the use of the force of the officers within those jail facilities is huge. And being able to just easily secure that video and upload those videos to our evidence database is perfect. So we have a ton of wins with the city, or with the new camera system. They've been reliable. The service has been great. So extremely thrilled, and we look forward to expanding with it.
This next question is for you. How did NightWatch help uncover or address these gaps during implementation? And were there any adjustments or customizations that you made to the solution based on what you learned from the customer?
Yeah, so as Jeff mentioned, we spent various days, multiple site visits, walking, the entire city from the police station where you're trying to watch where there might be a man trap and you want to ensure that the police officers and whoever they have with them are all safe and you can document that. But you also have where the animals are and you're documenting to ensure when they're dropped off and who's dropping them off, or out in parks where they don't have great network connection. So we're implementing point to points to buildings to make sure they have all of that coverage. It was really decided through 10-hour days of walking in the summer, which luckily was summer and not winter. And just figuring out where their gaps were, what they were missing, what they needed to see based on incidences they had in the past or things they wanted to see in the future, and then slowly integrating from there. They had a brand new animal shelter, so we did a preliminary budget for them based on that, and then we waited a year to fully implement it once everything was complete. So a lot of it is Night Watch, but a lot of it is also the city of Taylor and working together as a true partnership to let us do what we do, but also have all of their input to make sure the system functioned in the exact way that they needed to, contrary to, healthcare or anything else. Security systems can be used exactly how you tailor them to.
No pun intended with Taylor. And then Catherine, what is some advice that you would give other organizations similar to City of Taylor or just other industries as well, considering implementing Verkada through Night Watch? Kind of what was the benefit of going through Night Watch with Verkada?
Demoing it. If you're interested in Verkada, get a demo camera. Call your integrator, call Night Watch and say, this is a use case we want. It's a corner exterior. We had this happen. It's, down a hallway. It's in a parking garage. Get a demo camera. They'll send one to us. We'll implement it. You can see firsthand how easy the interface is, how user-friendly it is compared to maybe what you're using now. But just going down that right, testing what their capabilities are to ensure it's exactly what you need, and falling in love with the system. I mean, City of Taylor school districts, they're a great example. They've been extremely happy with their system.
Just to piggyback on that, I think I demoed just about every camera Verkada offers, and I was always calling Catherine up. She's always made herself available, which was probably her mistake, but she always answers my phone calls, and I think I demoed every camera they had, and so I had a good working understanding of when she would say, hey, you need, this camera, that camera. I knew what the capabilities of that camera already. So we already had wins going in before we started the citywide, installation of all the cameras. So I mean that is a huge thing. Test, and figure out exactly what you need so you're kind of knowledgeable going into the whole planning stages of your camera system.
Okay, thank you, Catherine and Jeff from City of Taylor for that overview and just walking us through your success with Verkada and Night Watch and the implementation of that solution. With that, I'd like to transition to our Verkada overview, and please welcome Verkada Channel Manager Hannah Swanson. And then Hannah, take it away.
Thank you, Unity. And Jeff, Catherine, that's such a great story that you guys have on your Verkada implementation. And we see scenarios like this all the time where customers have these gaps in their current security system, and whether the timing is right now or 2 years from now, getting one of those trials in your hands and that demo equipment so you can better learn the technology and you know what type of capabilities are out there. Super exciting. And it's great that you guys were able to walk through that start to finish. So I'm going to give a quick background on Verkada here. And the first thing I like to call out in terms of our background is that we are currently the fastest growing physical security manufacturer in the world. We were founded back in 2016, and as of today, we have surpassed 33,000 customers. We are worldwide. We have offices all over the place. I myself am today sitting in our Arizona office. Sometimes I'll sit out of Salt Lake City, but I'll be based out of Michigan directly here in the near future. But as you can see here with this wide scale that we operate with here at Verkada, you're going to have tons of resources on our end to make sure that your projects work smoothly from start to finish. Now, what does Verkada do? You have probably heard a lot about cameras with Verkada, but we have a wide ecosystem when it comes to our security technology. So in terms of the product offerings that we have, it is cameras, access control, air quality sensors, alarms, workplace, intercom devices, and even a few more that we've added in the past few months. But really what I like to look at here is that Verkada used to be looked at as just a camera company, but today we look at ourselves as a full security ecosystem. Now, the goal here is that we are able to provide you guys a solution that not only gives you video footage and analytics, but that video footage and analytics is going to talk to your guys' air quality sensors and your intercom devices and your loudspeakers and your access control and guest management. So the goal here is that we have all of these different devices integrated on a single pane of glass for your guys' ease of use in terms of getting a full picture of your security environment. Now, in terms of Verkada architecture, we are pretty unique compared to our competitors. When we look at a traditional camera system, normally what you guys are going to see is that those IP cameras are plugged into a switch, which plugs into an NVR DVR. Typically, you can view that footage on site pretty easily, but in order to view that footage remotely, you have to start using VPNs and you're poking through firewalls, and it leads to some cybersecurity risk. Plus, all of this tends to be a really bulky, expensive, and hard to maintain system. We've got tons of different moving parts. I look at this NVR DVR. If this device ever goes down, you spill coffee on it, and it's out of commission, not only are you losing your footage from one camera, but also all of the different devices that are connected to that NVR DVR. On top of that, there's a lot of maintenance when it comes to a system like this. You are maintaining not only your cameras, but also your NVRs, DVRs, your switches, and it just gets really, really difficult to maintain this overarching system. So what we wanted to do here was simplify the security architecture. Now, what you'll see with Verkada is when it comes with any of our devices, we are going to have what we call the hybrid cloud solution. Now, what this means is that footage and data is going to be stored directly on the device itself, and it's consistently going to be getting backed up to the cloud. So what this does is it gives you guys the ability to view footage both on-premise and remotely very, very easily. On top of that, it's also going to give you the capability of unlimited cloud archiving. So when you find clips and incidents that you guys need to save, you're not going to be limited to the storage on that NVR or DVR. All of that's going to get backed up to the cloud with unlimited storage capabilities. Now, why customers love Verkada? I'm going to shift gears here in a second to physically show you what Verkada is capable of. But the three major points here are going to be easy, smart, and scalable. We don't use those on-prem servers to manage those NVRs, DVRs, which makes it really, really easy to maintain that system. Everything's going to be available remotely. We also push out automatic software and firmware updates to all of our customers completely for free. Now, this is small here, but I really like to hammer down on this because I think this is one of the biggest value adds with Verkada, because our very first customer back in 2016 bought a camera. It was recording footage, didn't have AI or analytics, and all of this amazing technology built in. But over time, we're going to push out automatic software and firmware updates to all of our customers. So really, when you purchase your camera system or your access control system from Verkada, you're buying it at its lowest performance, and it's just going to consistently get better with time. On top of that, we offer a 10-year product warranty on the majority of our products here at Verkada. So the goal here is that you're able to buy your security system, have very limited ongoing maintenance and upkeep costs with your security platform. We are smart. What I'll show you here in a moment in our demo is that we've got tons of different alert capabilities, search capabilities, sharing capabilities. What we really want to do is make the system work for itself so that you guys don't have to log into your camera platform every single day, check back on footage, take hours to find a little clip. We're going to make that really, really easy for you guys. And then scalable. I mentioned it before, unlimited cloud archiving. You're able to start with 1 camera or 100 cameras across all of your different locations. We are going to be very transparent from the start. Top of that, we also have unlimited users that are able to log into the platform and access their security system. Now, we talked about these common security gaps, and I wanted to highlight 5 from the Verkada side that I see most often. And that's going to be the inability to find footage when an incident does occur, or missing specific context for a security incident, whether that's small or large. There's going to be lots of situations where you're going to miss a little piece of that doesn't give you the full story of the event. Unorganized reports and difficulty sharing footage. A lot of times we have to share these incidents with authorities or chiefs of police nearby, and we want to make it really, really easy for you guys to do that. Repeat offenders. I highlight this one because we not only want to be a reactive solution, but also a proactive solution. So we want to make sure that we can avoid any scenarios coming down the line. So we're going to set up notifications for this. And then independent security devices that do not communicate with each other. Having all of these devices on a single pane of glass is going to make it really, really easy for you guys to maintain that system. Now, what I want to really highlight here is these 5 gaps that we're able to help you guys out with. So starting off with number 1, simplified search tools. We want to make sure that you guys are able to find footage really, really easily. Now, Verkada's going to be able to help with this by a few different tools in our tool belt. I like to use a really basic example. Let's say there is some graffiti over here on the front table of your guys' school. There's a few different ways that we can find who has graffitied this table. Now, best case scenario is that you guys know approximately what time this happened. If we know it was right before school had started, between 7 a.m. and 8 a.m., I can toggle over this 1-hour clip here. We're going to see a green box to show where a person was detected. We've got little yellow boxes to show when vehicles are detected. This is going to be a really easy way when you know approximately what time an incident has occurred. But transparently, most of the time this is not the case. Most of the time we see that incidents are occurring over the weekend or after school hours. So we don't really know exactly when we need to be looking quite yet. So we have a different scenario here. What I can do is I can highlight this table that the graffiti has occurred, and I'm going to choose time in view. I would assume that someone would have to be within that highlighted frame for a minute or longer in order to graffiti that table. So as I scroll down here, what we're going to start doing is differentiating each person that has come into view of that highlighted frame for a minute or longer over the past 30 days here. So as I scroll down, we start getting our context clips here. We've got our green boxes again to show when a person was detected, and some green squiggly lines to show where they came from and where they were heading. So the goal here is that we can cut down on some of that search time. Another option here when it comes to searching capabilities is going to be line crossing. Now we can kind of assume that someone would have had to cross the line going that direction to graffiti the table. So this is another way that we can search below here. We're not going to choose time in view. And now we're going to see every single time a person has crossed that line heading towards the table there. So the goal here is that we have tons of different tools to help you find footage when it's needed. Finally, the last little portion I'll show you guys today is our ability to search people across our property here. So under our people tab, we have a few different capabilities here. Let's say we don't know what time the graffiti happened, and there's too many people sitting at that table to run through each and every clip that we've got. But we do know there was a suspicious person walking around over the weekend with a red shirt and a backpack. And let's say they appeared to be male. I can use characteristics like this to start differentiating each person that's come into view of our camera. Right now, I'm only searching at this front camera, but I can also search this across all of my cameras. Now, as we scroll down here, we're going to start seeing every person with the red shirt and backpack that's come into view of this camera help us narrow down some of that footage so we can find that suspicious person that was walking around over the weekend. And now finally, we can even differentiate each individual face, which kind of starts moving me into our next gap that we're trying to fill here. So we also want to make it really easy for you guys to get context of a security incident. So what we'll see here is when I click on this person's face, what I want to do is I want to get context of when else he's been on our property, or if there are any co-conspirators working with him to graffiti this table at the front door. So as I click on his face, what's going to slowly happen here is we're going to pull up a profile for him. Now this is going to show us where he's come in the past 30 days. We could search this across all of our cameras as well. Give it a moment to load here before clicking out. But as you can see, we can start to see every time this guy has come into view of our cameras. So we know he's coming by our front door quite a bit. I don't see any co-conspirators here, but I do think that he had been planning this for a little bit here. So we're starting to get some of that context. Another way we're able to search for context here, let me pull up another quick search. As a little side note, we're also able to use AI to search any type of characteristic across our campus here. But what I'm also able to do to get a little bit more context is, let's say we're looking for this woman and we know that she had graffitied that front table, but she also went into the building, we think. We don't know where exactly she has gone, but we want to get some context here. So as we are seeing, this girl didn't go into the building, so let's see. Grab a different shot. Here we go, yesterday. So as I pause here, what I am able to do is I'm able to click on this person of interest that we are trying to find here. And what we're going to do is we're going to start pulling together a unified timeline. What we'll see is that this integrates with our floor plans here on the right side. Now, the reason for this is we want to see everywhere she's gone throughout the building. So on the left side here, we'll see where she walked into a new hallway. It's going to be lining up with the floor plans here on the right side. This gives us great context into which areas maybe she was trying to break into, where else maybe she was graffitiing. So we're starting to get a really good picture of this person that has broken into our building. Now, this is going to move into our third point here, which is going to be organized incident reporting and notes. So we've got our girl here. We know she has graffitied that table. We've got the context of her moving across the building. Now what we want to do is make sure that we can take notes and understand this full incident. So what I'm able to do is I'm able to save all of this context footage together into our incident reports. Take a moment here. All right. So in this incident reporting area, what we're able to do is we're able to clip together multiple clips, multiple different people that may be involved in the incident, take notes, as well as vehicles. Now, this is going to be really, really helpful when we want to make sure that we have the full context start to finish, all of the different notes that are needed for this incident, and we want to share it out. So, I've been removed permissions to share, but what we're able to do here is plug in, let's say it's the local chief of police that we need to share this incident with, plug in their phone number, their email, and they're going to have full access to this footage. Now we can choose if we want to give them the ability to download or not download this footage, but really what we're doing here is we're able to get full context into these incidents very, very easily from start to finish. We can see here is going to be one clip that we've archived. We have got our watermark on the top left corner here to make it admissible in court. We are going to have the ability to manually or automatically share this again by phone number, email, or contact information. We can choose how long that person is going to have access to that footage, but we're also able to download it as an MP4 and send it directly over email or a flash drive too. Now, let's say we've taken care of this incident. We have shared all the footage out. We've got all the context. Now what we want to do is we want to make sure that this person is never coming back to our campus again. So we want to be a little bit more proactive and not just reactive. So where I like to head over to is our alerts page. Now, what Verkada gives you the ability to do is set up all different types of alerts to prevent incidents from occurring down the line. These are all going to be very, very customizable here. Now, one tool that I like to share is that a lot of times you're going to look at this alerts tab and you're not going to know where to start. But depending on the industry that you are in, we have some recommendations for you. So if you're in K-12, we've got the ability to set up an alert for a person with a face fully covered or a janitorial staff with curtain uniform. Government, retail, manufacturing, whichever area you're in, we've got some recommendations for you. But what's good to note is that with any of these alerts that we're able to set up, they're all going to be completely customizable to you. So let's say we want to set up a people detection alert. You are able to choose exactly which cameras or which sites you want to be alerted on, what type of motion this is going to be, whether it's just any motion or people specifically moving or animals specifically moving. We can differentiate the two there. On top of that, we also have specific motion areas. As you can see, we're displaying this a little bit on the right here. We don't want to get notified of someone walking across the street over here, but we do want to get notified of someone in our parking lot and differentiate that specific area ourselves. We can choose who gets notified of these incidents and how. That's going to be by text message, email, or a command notification through our mobile app. And then our notification schedule. We don't necessarily want to get notified maybe at 2 a.m. on a Saturday, but we do want to get notified through our normal working hours. So we can set the schedule up however we'd like, and everything's going to be completely customizable. Now, on top of these alerts that we're able to set up here, we are also going to be able to mark people of interest. Now, this is really, really helpful in a ton of scenarios. I like to look back at the graffiti incident, and let's say we have our photo of our graffiti artist here. I can upload a photo. I can pull them from different clips that we have in our cameras themselves. Again, we've got this profile starting to pull up for him every time he's come into view of our cameras. But on top of this, now what's happening is we've created a person of interest notification here. Now your guys' team is going to be notified anytime this guy comes back onto your campus. Again, that's going to be by text message, email, or command notification through our mobile app. And now you're going to be able to stop an incident before it even occurs. So hopefully there's no more graffiti on that front table because you're going to know every time our guy Nestor here comes back. All right. The final gap here is going to be the ability for our camera devices to speak with other items within our security ecosystem. So when it comes to Verkada, I mentioned earlier, we have a large platform of products. And today, the majority of my focus was on this cameras piece, but really the power of this platform comes from all of these different devices that are going to be able to communicate together. I'm not going to dive too deep into the specifics. I'd love to set some time aside with our team and dive a little deeper directly with you guys in terms of our access control, air quality. But what's really great to point out here is that all of these devices are going to talk to each other independently. So as you can see here, even though we are in our access control, we see all these different devices, but all of that is going to communicate with our cameras as well. Same is going to go for air quality here. So we can see we've got all of our analytics on the very top to see what types of air quality we're receiving in these rooms right now. But each one is also going to be tied to a specific camera. So we've got the context of every single alert that we may receive. We could go on and on about intercoms and gateways and trailers and our alarm system, our guest management. But I don't want to overwhelm you guys today. Just wanted to give kind of a brief overview in terms of these security devices here. The last portion I wanted to point out before we head into the Q&A is just dialing in on that free trial program. Work with the Night Watch team directly. They are all going to be able to get you guys a free camera or a air quality device, intercom device for a minimum of 30 days here. What this gives you the opportunity to do is not just take my word for it and my little demo that I showed you today, but you get to test out this equipment yourself and make sure that it's actually fitting for your needs. So I highly recommend, if you're able to, reach out to the Night Watch team, see if we can cover some of those 5 security gaps that you might be experiencing today. And hopefully you can test out the Verkada equipment a little bit more.
Thank you to all the attendees for joining, all of you for joining, and a special thank you to Jeff from City of Taylor and Catherine from Night Watch, and as well as Hannah from Verkada for joining to share some valuable insights, information just on their experience with the Night Watch and Verkada collaboration. We hope you found the session informative and helpful for future decision making for your next security system endeavor. And with that, thank you so much for joining this webinar today, and we hope you have a wonderful rest of your week and a wonderful rest of your day.